Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. The AEW celebrates 6 years on air. Coming up, we talk about the huge six-man trios match between the Death Rider, John Moxley, Daniel Garcia, and Claudio, better known as Cesaro, taking on World Champion Hangman Page. The trios champions, Powerhouse Hobbs and Samoa Joe, in a huge trio six-man tag team match. We'll talk about it coming up. In the main event, Darby Allin teams up with the AEW Women's Champion Trish Stanley to take on Will Eula and Maria Shafrafa. See that match as well. Also, too, the another trios match. As Kenny Omega teams up with the tag team champions Broly and Bandito to take on Josh Alexander and the Young Bucks. See that match as well. And a championship match that gets you going as TNT champion Kyle Fletcher defends against Orange Cassidy. Kyle Fletcher was supposed to defend it against Hologram, but Hologram suffered an injury. A title versus career mass match. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Timeless Tony Storm will make her returns to Hollywood, Florida. There. And Jurassic Express return. We get the AEW Dynamite Ring Report started right here, right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the AEW Dynamite Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show. We're here. Thanks for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. We get the AEW Dynamite Ring Report started right here, right now. With AEW celebrating 6 years. You know, it's been that long, 6 years. Remember, AEW was on air not too long ago, but 6 years ago, man, that's quick. Well, some of these stars were part of the first AEW, like Hangman Page and Moxley, but the rest of them was probably still in WWE at the time. Majority of them, MJF was part of AEW at the time, so hey, we give them props and stuff. Well, a big surprise that no one did see coming. I did not see this coming. Andrade returning back to AEW from WWE, and Andrade makes history once again. Andrade helping out in the match, um, the tag team match. They saying Andrade is the first person to cross over from both promotions. When Andrade started WWE, leaving WWE nearly 6 years ago at the time. I guess that was a big surprise. And now Andrade jumping from AEW to WWE. AEW. He's the first superstar to go back and forth like this, back and forth like that. It's just that's Andrade for you right there. Andrade showing his prowess and stuff. And Andrade now a member of the Don Callis family. It's like Don Callis's family is getting stronger day by day. When you look at the roster he has of villains, it's like the House of Villains. And well, a month the kickoff October, but the House of Villains, you see, Kyle Fletcher retained his championship over Orange Cassidy. You got Andrade in the group. You got Josh Alexander, Kenoshi Takada. You got um you got you got just about everybody you can think of is in that group. He look like Don Callis is a manager of champions. He become like AEW's AEW's version of Bobby the Brain Heenan. Listen, a lot of stable and he's not going to stop. So, like you said, we're seeing that as well coming to fruition as well. So it look like that we're going to be seeing that coming forward and stuff. So hey, see how that's going to go down. Well, is there trouble in paradise? Well, we know that Hangman Adam Page, Samoa Joe were tag team partners, but it looks like things are not seem to come around. And Samoa Joe got in the face of Josh Alexander. Now we know that it's been a lack of miscommunication. Now we know that they're going to fight each other one on one Hangman Page will defend the World Championship against Samoa Joe at Wrestle Dream for the match for the championship. Samoa Joe, former AEW champion, could be locking in to getting the championship back. The Hangman Page delivered that impassioned uh, promo that he don't care. He wants to defend the title, and he'll do what he has to do to get to Samoa Joe coming up. Well, we get to this right here. Let me show you right here. Uh, you see Ken Omega teaming up with the tag team champions. Uh, like Ken Omega and them one retain. Well, well, all hell broke loose when we found out that you see right here, Ken Omega getting the 1, 2, 3 right here. But then this one, all hell broke loose right here when it was none other than turned out to be found out to be Andrade. Andrade returning to get the measure of revenge. Andrade looking in phenomenal shape. Andrade, we'll see what's next for Andrade. I think he's gonna be feuding with Ken Omega next. Well, speaking of Don Callis fan, Andrade's in the group. Is there tensions in within the group? As we can tell, Okada and Takosha are really not feeling each other. They want to beat the holy crap out of each other. And I think Don Callis trying to avoid that situation, but it's inevitable. Who's the next one to get kicked out the group? So, like we said, we'll see coming forward, but we'll keep a close eye on that. Well, the Hurt Syndicate had called out the man, the Hurt Syndicate, and MVP Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, saying they want the demand in a street fight, and the man accepted. So next week on Dynamite, on the Homecoming edition, we're going to see the Hurt Syndicate face off against the demand 1-on-1. So we're going to look forward to seeing that as well. So we see how that's going to be going. We'll see. Also, too, Mercedes Moné saying that she's 16 days away to become the longest reigning TBS champion. She'll beat Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill's going for a championship that Sasha won a couple of years. That Mercedes won a couple of years ago. She was what the WWE Women's Champion, now was the Raw Women's Championship. So we'll see. But she's 16 days away to breaking the record that Jade has set. Jade started in AEW. Now Jade's in WWE. So we'll see how that's going to transpire next week. Time to speak on women's champions. Timeless Tony Storm saying that she wants a belt back. Time Tony Storm coming back and she feels naked, completely naked without the championship. Time to Tony Storm went against Tam Mao and defeated her quickly. Tony Storm saying that she needs that belt back to validate herself and build her confidence. She issued a challenge to Chris Stanley that she'll want to go against Chris Stanley at the pay-per-view Wrestle Dream. So we'll see that match between Tony Storm and Chris Stanley at Wrestle Dream. Speaking of Chris Stanley, she was in the match, in the mixed tag team match. Won a match, by the way, quite so easily. She did what she needed to do. Chris Stanley still holds the AEW Women's Championship with Darby Allin in her corner. So, this AEW was so. I guess they're just trying to be like Raw, be like Dynamite with Cleveland stuff, and how all that came to be, but it really wasn't to fruition and stuff like that. So, I mean, it is what it is, stuff like that. All right, that's going to end the AEW ring report. Let's move over to wrestling hot to the Heat check, and you see right here, The Rock trying to deny claims that he's not taking steroids and stuff like that. But Rock's body is drastically looking different. I'm thinking like everybody else thinking. The Rock can be jacked right here and then be lean the next minute. What's going on for real? And I think The Rock's trying to say he's not, but you can tell he's taking some supplements. But I think he is taking um, some antibiotics or steroids. That's what I think The Rock's doing. Only time will tell with that. No Hogan was taking it, and his heart gave out due to his death. But we told you Andrade becomes the first superstar, first talent to go from WWE to AEW to WWE to AEW. So Andrade's been going back and forth. But WWE got to realize, AEW got to realize, Andrade got to realize himself. You can be talented, but then again, is you worth the money that everyone wants to say he is? So I think that's what Andrade's trying to get at. So we'll see. But Andrade made that impression tonight as well. So thanks. Well, I guess that's gonna do it. It's been a quick AEW Pro Wrestling show. So for me being Kendra Dix saying so long, we'll see you Friday for the SmackDown report here on the Pro Wrestling Show.